Why is Michelle Obama whinging? She seems to always be whinging. Why are things so hard for her right now?
I know. I mean, because when you're thinking of victims of this awful world, you think of Michelle Obama and how terrible we've all been to her. This woman is a one-woman destitution derby. Every time we check in on her at her podcast, she is feeling sorry for herself. She is criticizing Barack Obama or this country. She never has a positive word to say about anything.
There's a reason people call them America's royal couple. Barack and Michelle Obama have spent years at the center of admiration, praised for their unity, strength, and style. But what happens when that polished image starts to crack? When someone decides to challenge the fairy tale, that someone was Megyn Kelly. And her takedown wasn't just bold, it was brutal. With a sharp tongue and a fearless mic, Megyn Kelly delivered a blistering commentary that questioned everything. We thought we knew about the Obamas' relationship. She didn't tiptoe around her message. She came out swinging, calling out Michelle Obama for what Kelly believes is a constant narrative of self-pity, entitlement, and victimhood. Kelly's critique centered around one major theme. Why does Michelle Obama, one of the most influential women on the planet, always sound so unhappy? According to Kelly, every public appearance, every interview, every podcast seems to circle back to how difficult life has been, even after living in the White House, earning millions, and becoming a global icon. But that was just the warm-up. The real fireworks started when Kelly turned her sights on the Obama marriage itself. She suggested that the image we've been fed of the perfect partnership between Barack and Michelle might be more illusion than reality. That instead of being built on love and understanding, their union may have evolved into a high-stakes performance for the public eye. Kelly pointed to Michelle's own words as evidence. In interviews, Michelle often speaks about the challenges of marriage, the low points, and even entire bad decades. Kelly took those admissions and ran with them, framing them not as honest insights, but as signs of deep resentment. Resentment toward the sacrifices Michelle made, the spotlight she never asked for, and the role she may have felt forced into. And it didn't stop there. Kelly claimed the Obama marriage resembles a brand, not a bond. A PR construct, polished. For photos, perfected for press, and rehearsed for public events. Every smile, every glance, every staged moment was, in Kelly's view, just another move in a long game of political optics. She even mocked the couple's Netflix deal and curated social media presence, saying their public image is so airbrushed, it makes real relationships look broken by comparison. According to Kelly, they've become a standard so impossible, it makes normal couples feel like failures. Because who can live up to a relationship that looks like it was designed by a Hollywood director? And here's where things got really interesting. Michelle didn't respond. No tweet, no public statement, nothing. Just silence. But in today's world, silence isn't neutral. It's loaded, it invites speculation, and it gave Megyn Kelly's critique a longer shelf life than any viral post ever could. The reaction online was swift and polarized. Some praised Kelly for daring to say what no one else would. Others accused her of going too far, targeting someone who's tried to be vulnerable and open about life's challenges. But no matter where people landed, one thing was clear: the conversation had shifted. The Obama marriage was no longer untouchable. Kelly's takedown opened a much larger door, one that goes beyond just Michelle and Barack. It challenged how we perceive celebrity marriages altogether, how we idolize the filtered, the staged, the perfect. Without ever asking what's really going on behind those filtered frames and romantic quotes, she painted a picture of marriage under extreme pressure, where even minor issues get magnified by millions of eyes, where authenticity is sacrificed for perception, where a couple might feel trapped by their own legend. She even suggested that Michelle's emotional honesty wasn't empowering. It was revealing. That her consistent tone of frustration and reflection hinted at a deep unhappiness, one that might stem not from the world's expectations, but from her own marriage. What makes Kelly's commentary so powerful is that she didn't scream or sensationalize. She simply laid it out step by step, layering sarcasm with cold truth, mixing sharp humor with a dose of reality. And perhaps that's why it landed so hard, because it felt less like a media hit piece and more like a reality check. She dared to say what many whisper, that the Obamas might not be living a love story, but a legacy. That their marriage, while historically iconic, might also be privately exhausting. That being relationship goals in the public eye might be more of a burden than a blessing. And if that's true, if even they are struggling beneath the weight of perfection, then what does that say about the rest of us? In Kelly's eyes, the most damaging thing about the Obama narrative isn't that it's false, it's that it's too flawless. It tells the world that relationships should look effortless, that conflict means failure, that every photo must be perfect, every quote uplifting. And that's a lie, a dangerous one. Because real relationships, they're messy. They're filled with compromise, frustration, boring days, and clumsy fights. And sometimes they're just about surviving, not thriving. Michelle's silence in the face of Kelly's claims left a vacuum. And in that vacuum, the internet ran wild. Was her silence dignified or strategic? Was it avoidance or a quiet confession? Without a response, the debate only intensified. That, in itself, might have been the most powerful move of all. By saying nothing, Michelle kept the mystery alive. And in a world obsessed with closure, that mystery has become a magnet, pulling in speculation, analysis, and commentary from all sides. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly's words continued to echo, not because they were cruel, but because they were compelling. They forced people to ask hard questions about fame, power, and the price of being perfect. This wasn't just a roast. It was a cultural moment, a reminder that even our most admired couples are human, that behind every red carpet pose is a story far more complex and far more relatable than we're often allowed to see. So if you've ever felt like your relationship didn't measure up to the glossy examples plastered across screens and magazines, this might be the reset you needed. Because if even the Obamas struggle with love under pressure, maybe the rest of us are doing just fine. And that ultimately might be the real reason this story hit so hard. Not because it tore anyone down, but because it brought everyone else a little closer to reality. If this made you see the perfect couple narrative in a whole new light, hit that like button and subscribe. We're diving deeper into the stories behind the spotlight. Got thoughts about Megyn's roast or Michelle's silence? Drop a comment below. Your take might just be the next headline. Let's talk truth, not fairy tales.